Hello, good morning. It is the 1st of January 2025, and it is the day where a lot of people will, if they are traditional, will have decided their New Year's resolutions for this year. Now, one of the ones that everybody seems to put on their list of things to do, I'm smiling because my little boy is actually behind me. Behind the camera, is this year I'm going to lose weight. I don't care whether you're male or female. It is always one of the things that if you ask anybody, what is the one thing that you are going to aim to do in the year? It's going to be things like, I'm going to save money, I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to go on holiday, I may look at a new career avenue for the future. But the one thing, obviously, that we all have to think about if we do anything is safety and being safe when doing so. But again, it is this time of the year that, especially on social media, it will be all on the TV, it will be on everything that you see, every sign, every image will be adverts to try and get you to buy into weight loss programs. And obviously the risk of that, as everybody may or may not be aware over the years, is that people have ended up buying products and pills online that they aren't sure what they really are or what they even contain. They haven't necessarily been FDA approved, which I think means Food Standard Agency. Correct me if I'm wrong, please, because, I don't want to be making any mistakes. This is just from my own personal experience and life. And the latest thing that I saw online to completely screw everybody up and scare everybody was porridge. Oh my gosh, this is porridge. Technically it is porridge, but it isn't porridge. It's like, I can't believe it's not butter, but it is butter. And it's honey, but it's not honey. There's all these processed foods nowadays that say, I am porridge, I am butter, I am sugar, I am milk, I am cheese. And they're being highly and heavily processed to the point that the ingredient that was probably supposed to be in there is at 1% or something. There'll be some rule as to what the percentage has to be in order for something to be classed as what they call it. But then don't get me started on things like name brands, when there was a company that wanted to call their sausages Welsh Dragons and they couldn't because it was a breach of trade description and all that rubbish. And yet you can have a Mars bar, but it doesn't have anything to do with Mars. So explain that one to me. But anyway, porridge. So anyone who's obviously trying to be more healthy, I don't want to say lose weight. I hate that. It's one of my pet hates. There is so much stigma attached to people losing weight and the pressure to lose weight and the pressure to be a certain size and to be a certain way. No, it's about being healthy. Now, porridge, obviously is a traditional food group. It's oats. There are different types of porridges that you can make depending on the added ingredients that you incorporate into it, but traditional porridge is oats. And there is lots of information online about how oats are supposed to be a superfood, how they are amazing for you, how they're the most healthiest food source. And just like anything, it's in moderation. So too much of anything could be bad for you and not necessarily good. So anyway, getting back to the latest article is porridge is no longer classed as a superfood. Porridge is dangerous. Porridge is not safe. Porridge is unhealthy. They're not talking about porridge. They're talking about instant porridge. They're talking about your Quaker oats that you just add water or you add milk to, which is what I've got here. But the way I look at it is, if I can get my children to eat something that has got something in it that is healthy, it's better than nothing at all. And again, we live in a society now where it's all to do with convenience, it's all to do with fast food, it's all to do with time, it's all to do with money, it's all to do with pressure. People have not, unfortunately, as silly as it sounds, have not got the discipline or the time or the structure in their lives to physically stand there, measure out oats, put them into a saucepan with water or milk, and then cook them on the stove. Okay, yes, you can do it in the microwave with normal oats as well. I've done it myself over the years, but it is very time consuming because the consistency, the texture, the quality of the oats when you actually buy oats, as opposed to refined, just add milk, just add water, which is a lot more thinner, it's a lot more powdery, it only takes 2 minutes. And when they're saying it's unhealthy for you, what they're saying is it's all the hidden added salt, sugar, fat that is in there. But at the end of the day, oats themselves are healthy. They are a slow-releasing carbohydrate. They are supposed to be good for so many health issues. But again, like with anything, if you are looking at changing your diet or you're looking at doing something new in your life, don't just do what I would say is fad. Research it. And if you're under the GP for any reason whatsoever, I know it's really hard to get an appointment, seek medical attention first. Now, with oats, I always remember eating them as a child, and I actually suffer with something called bile acid malabsorption. And a lot of people on the group forums that I'm on will say, I've got bile acid. I can't eat oats. I can't eat porridge. And there are so many foods that people can't eat, depending on how their illness affects them. I'm quite lucky. I can still eat oats, but the thing that's probably triggers my bile acid malabsorption is the hidden sugars, is the processed sugars, is the chemical sugars like aspartame, those are an artificial sweetener enhancement that is probably put into the instant porridge oats that you buy. You put them in the microwave for 2 minutes with water or milk. If I was physically standing there making oats from scratch, depending obviously again where the oats were growing, the wheat, not like any plant, they are going to absorb the nutrients from the ground in which they grow. So again, there has been issues with, don't buy rice if it is from certain countries because it may carry high levels of lead or mercury or other chemicals that are dangerous and detrimental to your health. And that is because the soil in which certain foods are growing in may potentially be contaminated. But the same thing could happen in the UK, where I live. There are so many new houses going up next door to farmland. There are processing plants next to farmland. There are tips next to farmland. There are industrial sites next to farmland. So nothing, in my opinion, in today's society is going to be 100% safe for you. It's going to be full of microplastics. It's going to be full of artificial colorings and enhancements. It's going to be full of some kind of chemical. And obviously, the only way to stay safe is if you were able to put yourself in the middle of nowhere and be 100% organic and make sure that you could guarantee as least exposure to anything that was detrimental in the environment as you could. But unfortunately, that isn't going to happen. Be good if it could, but it won't. And so the only thing, obviously, we can do is focus on our own health and safety and well-being. And although, yes, we should take on board what the social media tell us, you need to start using your own judgment as well. So again, you know, with it being a new year, I do want to talk more about bile acid malabsorption. I want to talk more about foods, because there are so many things out there about, you know, you are what you eat. Food can affect who you are as a person. And I do agree with that, actually. But again, it's personal choice, you know. But that doesn't necessarily mean that somebody who does nothing but eat McDonald's every single day of their life is going to end up with heart disease. It doesn't mean that somebody who is vegetarian isn't going to end up with tooth decay, or that somebody who is vegan isn't going to get colon cancer. You know, sometimes, unfortunately, it is what it is. And I know that sounds harsh to say that, and I know people are going to hate me for saying that. But like I said, there are so many things now in the environment that are here to stay. They're never going to go away. It doesn't matter how much we try to, as a species, to make the world a better place or safer place. Unfortunately, there are things in the environment, like microplastics, for example, that are, unless they could find a way of getting rid of them completely, they're always going to be there. And one of the things that has obviously been highlighted a lot is how literally microplastic is in even a fetus within a woman's body. And I vaguely remember watching a program about a dolphin that died, so it's quite sad. And it was like a baby, and they did an autopsy to see why it passed away. And as they were doing the autopsy on this dolphin, they actually put under the microscope like samples, and they could actually see microplastics in this carcass of this dead dolphin, which goes to show that, you know, if microplastics are obviously getting into wildlife, then they're getting into plants, and they're definitely getting into humans. So I'm not going to bore you anymore, but what I'm going to do is going to eat my porridge, and I just want to wish you all a happy new year. And if you want to make any comments or give any feedback, please feel free to do so. But if anyone is rude, disrespectful, or says anything that's offensive to myself or anyone else, obviously your comments will be removed. But stay safe, stay well, stay happy. My little boy's trying to get in the film here. And have a fantastic new year. Thank you.